Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ALANCOOK, the proud owner of the Midion. The Midion is a awesome painting. It is a Leonardo Da Vinci lost painting that I own, that I found in my warehouse buyouts. Had it for many, many, many years. What you see in the green here, straight behind me, is the X-ray that's out of my painting. This is the Mona Lisa. This is the Mona Lisa. This image is out of this image of the Midion. Leonardo da Vinci and his lovers used to call each other Midions, which in Italian is best boyfriend in the whole wide world. Now I'm going to show you his tricks, and you need to pass this on social media to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all the others. I had no idea for years that YouTube didn't promote YouTube videos. You had to go outside the source. So let me put these off to the side and show you again his tricks. Now this particular image, this one here, is actually out of the Mona in this particular area. When you put it, that's what they pulled out. That is an X-ray. Well, I did different polls on that, and what I mean is I'll give it to you in more detail. But it is each layer is like a telephone book page. Let's say you're on page 1, and you got the or the front cover, and then that, which is the Mona. The next page is a whole bunch of writing in A's, and the next page is in B's and C's and D's and so on. Well, these colors are the same. So when you actually take the Mona and you overlay this Mona right there, you can see where she's gonna the X-ray comes out behind it, because here's the circle of her head, and here is the circle of his head, and this is one of the areas. Now don't let it fool you, for the reason is because if you follow these lines, you can see how the line comes across. Okay, see how the line comes across. Okay, and in the areas, but what he does, he still makes her move across the room to all the measurements still line up. That's why the Mona follows you across the room. So that's one of my tricks. Now I have, like, again, over 1,000 YouTube, so try to bear with me. Some are going to get much more fainter, and some are going to get much more buoyant in for you to understand. I'm going to grab this one so we get this out. To let you know, as you can see, these two look the same, but they're not. When you go to actually get into them, there's a slight little variations in the sense of how the colors were pulled, and gives you an extra nub. This particular one gave me a pretty good nub here, and I'll show you what threw me to better that nub and for me to know. But it is only of one area, which he has thousands of areas in the same area. So in other words, the one image that we get into, which are microscopic to, the size of a watch, is something. Now this is a different pole. Obviously you can see different images in here, but I'm going to blow this up for you to see a little bit better. Okay, but I want to show you what this means. Now, it actually spells out, this is a G, a big G in his face. And when it comes on down and flows through here, it spells out G-I-O-B-A-N-N-I, way down here. Now, the way this is how good Leo is. Watch this. Okay, you take my man and you blow up his eye, and what do you see in his eye? You see a big G. That's a big G right here. Now in the eye of my man that he loved, you take this G and you reduce it. and you put the two G's over each other. If I got it in the right area, I still got to go up a hair. So that's what you play with. It takes hours. And you can see how the G lines up 100% in his eye. So in the eye of my man, he paints his man, okay, and spells out his name. And it's very difficult, but you can see this cut piece that goes through here. There's a cut piece right here. So when you put them back up and you line them, you can see the cut pieces match. He gives you these puzzles. Have you ever done puzzles? So anyway, that's a secret of his. Also, while we're continuing here, I want to let you know that the code that they found in the Mona Lisa's eyes, that I've told many people about, and on the YouTubes, they found a CE, an L2, 149, a B, an LV, a CE, yeah. Okay, and with that in mind, for you to know, the CE is actually Katharina, the C, and the E is an M turned sideways. And C stands, again, for his mother's name. See how this is what I call the buffalo man with a tuba. Okay, he's riding a buffalo, this man, and he has this tuba like he's playing a horn. And he was into music. And as you can see, that it fits 100% in the area of these black, but he makes it move. So if you follow this and you reduce it, you can see it fits in here and it fits in here. And he what he does is, again, he makes his work move across the room because it's going to float, his art. So you can see how it fits perfectly in the black that's blank, and you can see how it fits perfectly with the tuba right into the black, perfect notch. And then when you move it over here, it's a perfect tuba fit. So he gives you these little markings that you're dead on. And if you actually take a look, you'll see the word Sali. Now, Sali is going to be spelt always because he's constantly addicted or crazy about his lover. So he's always writing his name and his lover's names. And it's Sali and Melzi Francesca that's in there a lot. And Leonardo Da Vinci an awful lot. And if you follow this big, I call it the Statue of Liberty, and this pointy guy, you can see his points, how he lines up in the little spots that he allows to give you the markings. He allows. You don't get nothing from him. You fight for it. I got $500,000 for the labor and like 7 years invested in this thing and well over 1,000 YouTubes. Now here comes another good part. We don't want to get into that. You don't want to think about the love I put in this for you, okay? And I really can use your help. But when you put this up, you can see this man. This is a man with a bigger head up here, and it's got these words. What's really cool is not only does he fit perfectly within the notch, he's got this house that fits perfectly in the house. And he's got his man here, and it's spelt out Sali across here. So when you take a look, you can see the twisted S going to be here. And then what he does is he makes his A for Sali look like a U, but it's in there. And you can see the long line. And what's really cool is he also moves the snake. So the snake gives you movement. So here's this bird that's on here, but when it changes, it's also a man. I'll show you on another image. But the bird fits within this image here. And then it fits in the dark, then it fits in this guy, fits in this guy, fits in this guy. And you see, these are the guys, even in the darkness, and he moves. And he makes his man move this way. So he's a mover. He's a TV like my father. Don's TV fits perfect. See how the two eyes fit in the snake? So this is just minimum of what I'm trying to. But when you actually get my woman on over, she fits in this head area. So he makes her move completely across the room. And when in certain areas where you raise it and lower it, because that's why everybody wants to know where's that Mona Lisa, how the snake fits everywhere, how she fits. She actually needs to be shifted up a little bit more for this highlight on this color pole. But you can also see her doily of the E. Okay, and don't forget the E also can stand for a C because it's light here for Katharina. Okay, but if you actually look, you'll see this line here and this line here. And the way you know that these are lines that match the dress of mine, I'll go back to one of the poles and you can see the line that he throws in here that he gives you a highlight on it. Also on his poles, here's a bird on the hands with another bird with a funny hat making love. Okay, and he's into cats and he's got the cat ears. Now, again, the birds turn into something else, and the cat turns into between tigers and other different images and portraits because they're under hundreds of different layers. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is that one item with Leonardo da Vinci is never one item, and that's why they can't understand certain things. They did a documentary on her, and they kept saying about hairpins. Yeah, that's hairpins and hairpins designs. But if they open up the images of the same images in which they showed, they'll find out that those are little portraits of people, which I have studied, and images on top of images that are cartoons back into portraits and portraits back into cartoons. Now, if you take a look at the top of this, you'll see that there's this writing that goes across here. I'll show you a better image on it, hopefully, but if I put it in here, I thought I put enough, but you can see part of the writing going across. This is all writing and how it fits within the groove. You can see this blackness, watch. See the blackness, how it fits right in the groove. Okay, so that you can also see this is a big face. If you actually, and here's an eye. What he does is he puts these faces over the top of faces like totem poles. And I know it's extremely difficult to understand, but if you follow this Statue of Liberty and I move him on over, he fits exactly in the group, and the pointy guy fits exactly in the group. And you'll see how this straight line here matches this straight line that's in this that he lays across. But he also lays them again. He has his markings that help him along. And it gets really good because if you see his V so happens to lay right into the V's. He gives you these V's. So you see this V, how it fits in this V. But if you watch, he gives you this shift. There's a V here. So he gets you to move the V's throughout. So what you think is kind of like that time when people were talking about if you go to the movies in the drive-in and they blink 1/100th of a second of a hot dog and soda and popcorn, and all of a sudden you're hungry. Well, that's basically what he's done. He's blinked these little images in there for you to say, there's the Mona, she's moving. And that's him. What it is a television that is moving across the room without electricity plugged into the back of it as a TV. He has trillions of images in it. And with this, I want to show you. Watch. This is the one in which caught me. See, because this is my image, and this is the image out of the Mona Lisa as an X-ray. So I pulled them. And I was wondering, what's this doodad here? Well, this doodad here is this snake of this cat. But then when I actually got part of it, I ended up, well, here's the snake itself down here, and here's this man here that's flying. So when you actually overlay this, you will see how this guy matches with these guys 100%. Okay, that's the way he is, but he changes this guy in different variations of like I told you. What he does is he changes it to a bird on a different layer. And if you know anything about him wanting to fly, he does a lot of birds, yes. Okay, so let's go back to Sali here with the word S-A-L-I. L-A-I. That's a big, big deal. And if you take a look at this face, if you really got any artistic abilities, you can see that there's a face here that he's generated out of. And how here's the house and the G. Well, the G does not have to be in the I itself in here, because his whole face is a G. You see how this is a G? Okay, but this becomes a G too. And that's the way he is, because Giovanni is Sali, and Sali was his model. So I don't know if I explained that earlier, but let me go into another variation. And this variation is a light one, obviously, and it's a very poor piece. But you can see this guy. You can see his face right here and how he floats on an angle. Well, that guy so happens to be in the snake of the eye. And that so happens to be these guys. You see these guys? These guys. He puts them in a run. These are the same angle cuts that he puts to where they're going to float across. And I know it's extremely difficult, this one. This got to be the worst. But it is, in a sense. So here is another thing for you to know. Okay, this so happens to be the Last Supper. That is Jesus Christ. Okay, and this is Jesus Christ. And if you take a look, this is the older Mona Lisa that's in my painting. That so happens to be also an interpretation of many of his stylists, between Katharina, Melzi Francesca, Sali, Leonardo da Vinci, and this so happens to be Jesus Christ, which is many things of handsome men between Sali, Leonardo da Vinci, and so on. All the ones. It's also his model Gioconda. Okay, so with that in mind, I need you to know that I have showed you the absolute X-ray that was in the beginning, which is of this, of the Mona Lisa, and this is the Mona Lisa. And as you can see, all of these are the same as Leonardo da Vinci's works. And so for you to give me a thumbs up, for you to subscribe, to pass it on to social media through whatever means, as artists, and as in caring for the world, and as in for truth and history, and the love of the study of learning. I beg you guys to help me out, pass the word. And pass the word. Also in my YouTubes, it also says the word of the Lord, and he puts in there, and there's one in there, and it says 12:17, and you can look that up, 12:17, the word of the Lord. And he was very religious. He used that, but he was also very, very physical. So there's an awful lot of YouTubes on both subjects and images. And don't forget that this is a new painting. It has not been into the museum, and it has not been chemically tested. But there's over 5,000 micro images and over 1,000 YouTubes proving every single image that's in the Mona and his works that I have found so far that are 100%, not 90%, not 99%, 100% exact fits. And I know it looks hard for you to see that I'm shooting on a screen. I didn't do OBS yet, and I'm not a professional, and I had no idea for a year plus that I've been loading up YouTubes in which we're just sitting there waiting for you. So please pass the word. God bless the whole world, the universe, and the heavens. Wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask, teach a teacher, take your broken finger, subscribe, and start sending off these. It won't take more than 5 minutes to help a brother, and then I'll be able to help my loved ones. And with that, again, may God bless the whole world, the universe, and the heavens. And thank you for watching my YouTube. I have tons more coming, and hope to see you guys. Stay safe. Amen.